Moon is Amani, and welcome to my channel. I am recording out of Second Life. I'm actually on a Gorian sim. I was going to record on this sim because I felt comfortable here, and I think it's a really nice build. And the story that I have to tell for my story time involves being role playing in gore. But I had someone to come up to me, and she's concerned about me being on the sim. So I'm not going to make light of it because a lot of people that create content in Second Life have had their content stolen. But I'm trying, if I can block this person out, I will, because I'm not making fun of her. But look, she's saying, what am I going to do? I told, she came to ask if I was looking for a Gorian home, and I said I had been in Gore a long time ago. Wasn't looking to come back, but I like to visit nicely built sims. And she's just gonna sit here and just watch me until I'm done, I guess. So what I'm going to end up doing is I guess I'll go home, but I wanted to, show you guys what it was like to role play in a Gorian sim on Second Life, or any type of sim, because some people create some beautiful environments for you to role play in. And I read these books, and this is a very good build, but it's just enough to give you the feel of this would be Taharan role play, which is basically like desert life. So yeah, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna I guess I'll just go home since she's going to watch me. um I don't know if she thinks I'm gonna pick up this fountain and take it with me, but listen, people pay a lot of money to own a sim, so I'm going to respect that she feels uncomfortable that I'm here, and I'm gonna go home. So I will get back in just a second. Okay, everybody, it's Moon and I'm back. At first I was kind of bummed about what just happened on that sim, but now I'm not. I think it was supposed to happen because that just shows you how guarded people are when it comes to their roleplay environment, or just a place where they log on every day, and the people that they roleplay with. It ties into my story time here, which is about how I was involved in a catfishing situation. And this was back in 2008. Just to set the background, I had come out of some situations in my real life to where I felt like I didn't have much control and I didn't value myself. So once I got to that point where I realized I was valuable, I was smart, I was attractive, and then I became like, kind of like, I know we hear the term hyper masculine. I was hyper feminine because I was a woman and you were going to hear me roar whether you wanted to or not. And that also made me be this person that was very protective of others. I've always been that way, but it was heightened, and looking back now, I did things foolishly, and this is an incident of one of those moments, because I didn't take the time to sit back and evaluate the situation and make sure I'm fighting for the right thing. So during the time that I've been in Second Life, I've only invited 3 people in. One was my daughter, who is about to be 23 years old. She was playing in SL for kids. Once it came over to the adult side of SL, she didn't like it anymore, and I'm so glad she didn't. The other is someone that was a former boss, and he's no longer my boss. We're actually on the same level now, but he lives in another state, and he still plays SL. The other one was someone that was under my direction, and she was going through some things at the time in SL, and she and I had a mutual, how can I say this? We had a mutual curiosity about a certain thing that isn't mainstream acceptable in real life. So I was telling her I use Second Life as a way to explore this thing, perfectly legal, and I invited her in. And plus, she was going through some really, well, I'd probably say she was going through some hard times in real life. So I got her an account. She signed up with her credit card, and we got her avatar together. And at the time, I was role playing in Gore, and I was loving it. I mean, Gore was popping. There was role play all the time. I mean, y'all, I was role playing so much that I would like role play till like 2 o'clock in the morning, and then have to get up for work at 6. But I enjoyed it, and I don't regret any of it. Um, but the place where I was role playing, there were a lot of experienced role players there, and she didn't feel comfortable. So she's like, I don't want to make mistakes. I don't want people laughing at me. I haven't even finished the first book. So we went to this academy or someplace where for new people that were new to Gore. And that first day, she found this lady. This lady walked up to her, and she was a scribe, which is basically a librarian in Gore. And she was saying that she was looking for a role play partner, and she didn't mind teaching what she knew because she had been role playing a long time. I think she started out on IRC. That was another chat application. So my friend was like, I want to, role play with her. So she went on, and, she would tell me how much she liked it, and she was learning so much. Well, during the time that she was with the scribe, I want to say this guy's role was a warrior. A warrior had taken interest in my friend's character. So the scribe, was taking the time to make sure they were compatible together, because she felt responsible for my friend, being that she was teaching her stuff. So they went through this whole thing of kind of like a what is that, courtship type thing, and ended up working out. So when he took her to another sim, which is basically another city, she said, she would listen to him role play, and he was really good, and she felt inadequate. And she asked me, she was like, can you like role play as me for a little while? Because I don't want him to get bored with me. I don't want him to take another girl or whatever. And I'm like, no, this is your thing. This is your story, because trust me, you're going to remember these times and, laugh about them, or they're going to mean something to you. And this is the way that you express yourself and can build a story to kind of digress from what's going on in your real life. So I declined. I was like, but if you need to know something, please hit me up. I'll tell you. And I met him. He seemed like a really, really nice guy. And met him in SL. So maybe about another 2 weeks, she told me that she was having problems with him. She said like he was forcing her to do things. And I'm like, how is he forcing you to do things? I mean, this is a virtual environment where you can just log off of the computer. So she's like, well, no, he's, asking me stuff about my real life, and, saying that he has ways that he can hack into my computer, and, all this other stuff that was really scaring me. And I'm like, are you crazy? She's like, I don't want to leave Gore. I want to go back to the scribe that I was with. But I know that if I just leave, I can be killed, because that's what could happen to the role that she was playing. And, I'm thinking, well, okay, yeah, you can be killed, but you could start another character. I mean, it's whatever. But she liked the character that she was playing. So I was like, okay, I'll help you get out of it. So I logged on as her. And, he noticed the difference, even though I tried my best to not show that I had much knowledge. He could tell. He was really, really, really bright. And, he started, saying he had noticed a change, and he, all these other things. And I started realizing that things that he was taught, there was role play, but he was also talking about things in real life, so then that's when it kicked on to me, okay, she's right, he knows stuff about her real life or whatever. Well, then he started talking. We left the role play environment to a place that he had, and he was talking on voice. And during that time, I started clicking to me that she was telling him things. It wasn't that he was finding out on his own. She was telling him. They were having conversations. I found out that they had exchanged numbers. She had sent him photos. I think they had done like like even some maybe Skype or some type of uh, video thing or whatever. But what I'm thinking is, and also I realized that he was a really nice guy, and this is where my heart started. I started getting upset because I am very empathetic, and I could tell he had developed feelings for her. But what she didn't let him know is that she wasn't free, like single free, to even get into a relationship if that's what she wanted. So I think she was actually using me to get her out of it altogether, which was not fair to him if you had given him the expectation that other things were going to happen. So I went to someone, I wouldn't say she was a mentor, I was out of curiosity about her because this lady, she was black in real life, and she said she was living the Gorian lifestyle in real life. And it just boggled my mind because I'm like, okay, the Gorian lifestyle really isn't a real one. It's where this guy took all of these things in real life and threw them in a book and made them into something. So hey, I guess it could, somebody could say they live that lifestyle. I don't know. I'm not going to judge, but I had a curiosity about her. So, and she had been in the role play community for a long time as well, even outside of Second Life. So I told her my dilemma, how I felt bad about what was going on with this guy, because I think that he had been lied to. I think I had been lied to. What was the best thing to do? Because, people were very protective of Gore, and I think I had started become protective too. Protective. I didn't want to tarnish my, as a role player, that I got involved in things like this. What she did was, when I told her, she said, well, give me a little bit to think about it and I'll tell you the best thing to do. And I said, okay. She went to the person that she was actually, she said they were seeing each other, and he was her role play partner in SL, and she was telling him about it. And if you know anything about Gore, I mean, this is where men could be the men they want to be, the hyper masculine men or whatever, in role play. And she said before she could get everything out, he was like, oh my God, we can't have this happen. We have to stop this girl and blah, blah, blah. And it all just blew up. And it blew up on me. I didn't care, because they could be talking that smack to me all day long and I didn't even hear, because I knew I hadn't done it to be malicious. I took the brunt of it. I didn't say, my friend, she did this to me, she did this to him. I didn't say anything because I took my chewing out, because I shouldn't have gotten involved. What hurt me the most, and I was hurt, what hurt me was this poor guy that thought that he was going to be spending some time of his life with this person who wasn't even free to be with him. And I had been involved in hurting him, and I could tell he was hurt, because he actually got on voice when we were all together, except my friend. She wasn't there, and you could hear the hurt in his voice. And the other part, there was another Kajira that was there that didn't really care for me. And I mean, they couldn't get her to stop talking, because she was so glad that, it seemed like something negative was coming out about me, and I told you guys she wasn't this and that or whatever. Yeah, whatever. She can still suck it. I don't like her till this day, but um, she was just basking in the beating of Imuna. But I take full responsibility for getting involved, because I should have stepped back and look at the situation. And that's what we need to do in SL, because there are so many people that I see saying they don't like someone else because someone else doesn't like them. But do you really know why that person doesn't like them? It could be that they don't like them over a man or a woman, or because this person is popular, or because this person can do this and they can't. You really just can't stop liking people or not giving them a chance because of that. And I have people that I'm close to who deal with someone I don't really care for. We didn't click. But if they click, that's fine. I mean, you can tell the difference in someone, saying, hey, I like both of you. I'm sorry you guys didn't get along, but I like you both. There's a difference between that and someone who is running in between two different people keeping bull crap up. There's a big difference. So my advice to people, when someone, says that someone's forcing them to do something in Second Life, I mean, really, you just click the X and you log off. And we know that we have to be careful with our real life information. So if they've shared something and they feel like it's escalated to where they're not safe, then that's outside of you anyway. They need to get the authorities involved. But I just think that we all just need to be a little cautious when we get involved in stuff, because you could have a situation happen like mine, which I still, even to this day, I mean, it was, oh my God, it was 10 years ago. And I still, it bothers me so much because I'm so empathetic. And I often wonder about that person, because I don't even remember his name, because I left SL for a little while. I had some health issues that came up. And then when I came back, I mean, I just don't remember his name. But if I ever ran into him, or I don't have a big following, but if he ever, said something to me after seeing the video, I mean, I would apologize to him. Video, well, not face to face, but video wise, or just anything, because he was an innocent. He was innocent. I was not innocent, because I should have done my research and thought about it better. And the person who, we don't even speak now. We don't talk. She took another job, and she actually started some crap in our department, which led to her taking the other job. Because, there are some women that like to play this damsel in distress thing. And it's okay in role play, but when you're dealing with people's real life feelings and you're doing that, it's just not cool. So that's my story time for today. If you guys have a situation that you want to share, put it in my comments. If you want to tell me, oh my God, Imuna, you're awful, put it in my comments, because I accept responsibility for what I did. And if my sharing this can help someone not to get into the same situation, then hey, I'm okay with it. And yeah, I still am working on Imuna's animation for her face. At least she's not sticking her tongue out anymore, but I don't know what's going on. So yeah, if you know my SL grandmother, Joy Jones, tell her she needs to fix my face. Tell her. Okay, everybody, thanks for watching my channel. And, well, thanks for watching my video. And I'll see you on the next one that I create.